And here we are again. It's still Sunday afternoon, so you're probably now seeing this next Sunday. So it's been an hour or a week since I put the first part up. And again, we're just continuing on our conversation. And really what we're doing is
drinking up a storm. You wouldn't believe how much beer this guy can hold down. You think that he's only been away from the camera for 3 minutes. We've been sitting here telling stories for 3 hours.
They saw me in Sukhothai last week.
Oh, okay.
Right, and we drank some whiskey, I tell you. So they know.
Johnny Walker Black, wasn't it?
Well, we started out with the piper, one of the pipers, for the Saturday night because that's the cheaper.
One of the pipers.
We were one of the pipers, and then on the Sunday morning because that was the actual ritual, and we went into the whole.
This is a Buddhist ritual to drink as much as you can.
And I studied Buddhism back in when I was like 18, 19 years old. No, the basic tenets of Buddhism. From a Western point of view, getting an idea of the whole idea of the way they don't really have a deity, right, per se. They don't have a God figure.
Right.
It's not in their culture, right? And we just this morning, as I said, we're talking about ghosts, which is very much embedded into their culture.
You were talking about ghosts?
Yeah. Right. So
on a previous video?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, it's obviously now that I'm in Thailand, it's starting to get the rounding of that study I did back 30 years ago, which really started me on a whole exploration of spiritual enlightenment through
So it must be a very interesting mesh between Buddhism and what your previous experience has been.
I've done what they call ceremonial magic. I've done sort of more extensions of that ceremonial magic to obviously more in a modern framework. I actually call myself a Discordian now, which you can look it up on.
Now is the camera on?
Yeah, the camera's on.
So you want to tell everybody about this?
I'm sure if they did some they're only going to put my name into Google and search, and they'll find my website. I won't tell them what it is, but no. So I study chaos. My current pursuit is chaos magic.
Is what?
Chaos magic.
Chaos magic.
Yeah.
Well, you're in the right place.
Yeah, that's right. This is just
wow. He came to Bangkok for some experiences in chaos magic.
So there's a whole bunch of that, but I think spiritualism and everything else is something that's a very personal experience. I don't want to use my channel to proselytize, bring people to the faith or bring people to. But anybody who wants to know more information about what I've done in the past,
right,
and what I've studied, contact me privately, and that's how I deal with it.
Or just send a message with their mind.
Well, it doesn't quite work that way. Yeah, but you got to understand the whole fun part of this.
Oh, okay.
Right. So I studied ceremonial magic. I studied shamanism from. I just mentioned it's from above.
Tony Robbins?
No, New York State to the western New York State.
The Iroquois Indians?
Not Iroquois.
Oh, Sequoia.
Sequoia.
Yeah.
Had a Sequoia shaman live with us in Sydney for a few years, and I studied under him, learned shamanism, the basic tenets of shamanism, and I've had a pretty rounded experience of all these sort of different pursuits. I even did 4 years in the church as well.
What church?
Oh, in the Church of England. And I did a proper indoctrination into their ritual practices through confirmation and all the extensions of that. I've also studied Gnostic Christianity and a whole bunch of things like that. And I've really sort of taken all the good stuff out of each one of those things and really fashioned my life around my own version of that, which really fits very nicely into the Discordian framework. Never take anything too seriously, and life is just fun. If you don't want to have fun in life, go and off yourself now. Seriously. Let's hope this video doesn't. I don't hear about a whole bunch of people just cutting their wrists. Because
no, please.
Right, suicide is.
Do not do this at home.
Do that.
Do not try this this shaman routine at home.
Yeah.
He will now be demonstrating for you his daily routine.
my daily routine. I get out of bed, I check my email. They think
He
it's
wants
something
to make you
magical.
believe that he's just an average guy. You know, he gets out of mail, checks his email, calls up all of his game players, and then they talk about shamanism for the next 6 hours.
We're talking about the game we're going to play today.
Okay.
You know? Seriously.
So,
But yeah, like life is like that. I don't think about it like it's just my personal spiritual, you know, enlightenment, which again fits into the Buddhist framework. This is what Buddha was doing. Like he woke up. That was in a Western.
he's become awakened.
He was awakened, right, to everything by his spiritual practice. And like, I believe I'm waking up to all these nuances of life, which, you know, over the last 30 years have become more and more evident about what life is all about. And, you know, you can have the pursuit for money, right? Does that fulfill your life?
Right.
No, I think the love of a person, right, and that understanding of one-to-one, no matter what their gender, right, when you find that person who is your soulmate, you'll go out of your way to move mountains.
You'll come to Thailand and live.
Or you'll come to Thailand and, you know,
I mean, really, that's why I'm here.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, your wife, yeah, that's right, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But no, I wanted to mention that
Yeah.
I never would have come to Thailand except that my wife's younger brother had cancer.
Oh, okay.
He got cancer. He was 30 years old. We were in the middle of our lives in America, and she decided to be with her brother, which I think was a good thing for her to do. So I didn't want to let her come back alone, so we came back together.
Okay.
But it was a real challenge to come here and leave behind the things that we had to leave because we came for an extended period of time. I wasn't inclined to go back and teach English as I did many years before that. I had to have an income because, you know, I did not have a lot of savings where I could come and spend years of you know, living here without working or doing something.
Yeah. Now you've been here 8 years. I think
I've been here 8 years.
Yeah. So
yeah.
yeah. So your perception of the challenges of foreigner in Thailand are probably completely different to mine. I did a recent video on the challenges, well, the things I think, you know, are annoying in Thailand, but I also, you know, get the flip side of the good things. But you probably have a whole bunch of ideas, and you want to probably explore that as well. Maybe, I don't know. Like, you know, we're just still two guys just chatting over a beer.
A different group of experiences,
Yeah.
but some things are in common. I mean, but why someone would want to come to Thailand in the first place, you know, I mean, really, is questionable. I mean, really, there are many other countries to go to. Thailand is a wonderful country in some ways. I wouldn't choose it to be the primary country to retire in.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way, although I have a retirement visa here. So,
But you've also got a working permit as well.
But yes,
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 right.
because I have to work, and there are ways of getting that, and legally, and you know, you have to be able to work in Thailand legally. The days of coming here and working as a teacher part-time or something to make ends meet while you stay and check out the culture, those days are pretty much gone. So you really have to have a good plan for what you're doing, and you have to plan ahead.
Yeah. So I already have, you know, obviously my investments. I have a couple of businesses I run online in America.
And I've never met anyone from Australia that did not give me their financial report before talking with them.
No,
Whenever I go to the health club or something, you meet somebody, I used to work, you wouldn't believe the money I made. You know, and that's always the way that it is. I don't know what it is. It's like no, I've heard. The last time we talked, we heard about your investments, and then somebody came on and like commented about, well, it's more than that, it's this and that, and all of this. But who cares, really?
Yeah.
You're more financially prepared than most people
well, that's right.
that come to Thailand.
But I had 8 years to prepare.
You prepared.
That's right. I prepared to come. You know?
But think of the person that comes to Thailand, you know, on borrowed funds or something, and comes here and wants to make a go of it, and he ends up teaching English for what they call cowboy school, and he's making a small amount of money, and he meets some bar girl and falls in love with her, and here his life is in this kind of like chaos magic.
Yeah, chaos,
and
literally chaos.
Yeah. Well, there's got to be some magic in that too. But here he is. Those are the guys that I really would like to caution and to say, stay where you are.
Yeah, all that's it. I would do that too, but I of course now with the Thailand Vlog Hub, I know a few of these people who are making these plans, and I've been trying to sort of offline, help them with those ideas. We talk privately. I don't think we need to bring that into the public, and that's what I do. But I'm trying to give to a community the best way I can give. I'm educated.
Well, you're a giver, so now you're contributing.
Yeah, and
right?
I think that's it. I've made some plans. I know roughly what I wanted to achieve and where I want to go, and I've got.
So you really want to go outside of the Bangkok area and live?
Well, this is the thing. The Sukhothai, as I said, I think I mentioned that in the Sukhothai video. My family have been.
Maybe they didn't see the Sukhothai.
Oh yeah. My family, my father's family, was into farming. They were farming in Australia.
On your father's father, did you say?
It was only me and my father were the technical whiz kids of that side of the family.
To drive that tractor? Or what?
To fix the tractor.
Oh, to fix the tractor, okay.
Not just drive it, yeah. We could pull it apart and put it back together in a few hours, yeah.
Well, then China has nothing to worry about.
I built my first go-kart when I was 12.
Okay, you could start a go-kart ring. But you're going to Sukhothai to build a house for $1.2 million baht.
Oh, whatever it costs.
Which is
$40,000 is probably going to cost.
Okay, and you figure you can do that?
Well, that's the rough pricing I've got.
Well, why would
area.
you want to live in such a rural place where do you have? Well, this is your hobby. This is kind of something that you would immerse yourself in, and but there isn't very many shopping malls or any place in the area. Well, that's the challenge we've got with Sonia, is the fact that it's not so much what I would give up. I am totally a free spirit. Give me a penknife, and I could live in the bush for a week. You heard it. So the next video cut, right? And here you are in the wilderness with a penknife. That would be good. I carry my penknife. Very good. And a corkscrew, though. He's got a corkscrew on that, so you got to have a wine. I'd have to build the still and everything else first. That's good. But I've always believed in my own ability to live off the land and sort of go to that level. And I've done it. China's with you all the way on that, huh? No, this is the thing. This is where we probably differ. Oh. Will you be doing this right after the wedding? Or would that be something that you would do before the wedding? No, it's more about the fact that I might be a forever optimist, but I also see the current turmoil of the planet and how unstable the planet is at the moment. Right, and there is the negative side of what could eventually become, what we experience as life, right? Which is, the breakdown of transport systems and so on and so forth. Let me just tell you this, from an American viewpoint, Donald Trump would never let anything happen. Oh, I'm sure he wouldn't. Yeah, he just bombed Syria. Well, I grew up in a time when we had a bomb shelter in my home. Because it was during the Cuban Missile Crisis days. Yeah. And when we would go to school, we would have to do that, what is it, I don't know what they called it, but you had to get against the wall like this. Oh, in case there was a nuclear explosion. It was really I read about how the fact that was like the mid-70s, that schooling actually had, out of your 8 hours a day or 6 hours a day at school, they would have a special half hour a day bomb or nuclear fallout preparation. In the mid what? 70s? In the mid-70s. Well, they were a little late on the stick there. This was back in 1963. 60s, maybe 60s, 65, yeah. Cuban Missile Crisis. Cuban Missile Crisis. Well, it was going on. I know I read about it. Maybe just the way I'm just interpreting all. Well, you're a younger guy. You did. How old were you in 1963? 2? Oh. Well, you're about the same age as me. Well, a little younger. I'm 56, right? So I'm 62. Doesn't look it, does he? Look at that. He's held his age really well. Okay. So must be living in Thailand. That's all the Thai food. Oh boy, yeah. That pollution is like beauty cream. It's not pollution. It's what you put inside that makes you outside better. It's all those Thai spices.
I'm still getting used to them. Nobody actually tells you about Thai spice. It's actually twice as hot on the way out as it is on the way in.
Oh man,
You certainly get to appreciate that.
no, that's something that's really a luxury here is eating Thai food.
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
It's just food.
But anyway,
In
back,
Thailand, it's just called food. It's not Thai food, it's just food.
well, that's true. But they do call it Thailand food.
Oh yeah,
notice that?
that's right. We can eat foreign food. You know, we eat foreign food probably once a week, just to remind me of how bad it was.
Right. Yeah.
And obviously, there are listed, specific comments on my Facebook page. Well, you're not eating McDonald's again. Yeah, well, once every couple of weeks, I'll go and eat McDonald's. I don't think it's not as like I've got a diet on McDonald's. Thankfully they've actually got pork burgers. You can't get them in Australia.
Do you speak Thai at all?
And pork Thai de mark, crap.
Is that it?
That's about it.
Like Dong Bai Leo Sai Leo Kla?
Yeah, I can go turn left, I can turn right, I can make the taxi get where I want. I actually mentioned that on a video.
Did you?
If you come into Thailand, if you really want to sort of, there's only a few things you need to know, like Swaddy Krap, like Cup and Carp, a few words like this, and like how to get around. You put a pin on Google Map, right? And
He's a very big Google pet.
I live on Google Maps.
Google Map inner. Yeah.
That's right. So you just pin Google Maps and you say, I want to travel by car, and then you get in the taxi and you say, Trong Bai Leo Sai Leo Kwa. Right, and you can get to where you want. And they won't take you via all the brothels.
Unless you want to go by all the brothels.
Unless of course you want to go by them. I know the first time I arrived in Thailand in 2005, I had to go from Silom, which is where the office was, right, out to Punti Plaza, which is like now near Central World. And like this tuk-tuk driver, mate, 700 baht, he took me like around Thailand. We visited 3 brothels.
That's before he had the suit made. He had a suit made, then they went and checked out the massage parlors.
They had the suit done in 2010.
Oh, okay.
But 2009, 2006 was, seriously, stopped at 3
See,
brothels.
I didn't even see that video. I was just guessing that
No,
that
but
happened.
I didn't do a video.
I don't focus on your videos that much. But, oh, yes, that was video 262. No, I don't know about that, but isn't that something where they bring you around all of these different places before they bring you to your destination?
Yeah.
That's
That's typically what happens if you're not prepared. So it's the biggest thing I can tell anybody about when you get into Thailand. Google Maps works when you're in Bangkok, and I think it works it's working out of Sukhothai.
Never hand the taxi driver your iPad. Never do that.
No. You could get that stupid crazy woman that'll actually take it off you.
That's right. Or
she handed it. She fronted up in the front of the police and say, "I'm the crazy woman that stole all the phone." Oh my God! Only in
woman
Thailand.
basically finds a smartphone, right? An iPad 7, I think.
Yeah.
All right, iPhone 7. Then demands a ransom for it of 5,000 baht, which is over $120. And the guy offers her 1,000 baht, but that was too low. She hung out for the 5,000.
It's just Thailand is a crazy country. Yeah.
But the thing I wanted to mention about the language is that if anybody has been in Thailand for a year or so, people will exert all kinds of pressure on you to learn Thai. Why don't you learn Thai? You've been here this long. You should learn Thai. Why doesn't your wife teach you Thai? And then it's like shifting the responsibility over to her. Why aren't you speaking Thai? But in reality, there is no need to learn Thai. Now you might learn some Thai to be courteous and to be able to say nice things to Thai people.
I learned the Thai word for pussy yesterday. Bim.
See, he believes learning is continuous. You have to keep up with your Thai vocabulary. Right? Now, where did you learn?
Well, no, Thai word for pussy,
Pussy.
Bim.
Is everyone taking notes here?
Take notes. Right, but the thing is, like, how long I've been coming.
No, I never knew that.
I've been coming to Thailand since 2005. And it was only it was just something we were just talking about yesterday, just casually, when we were out to the shops or something. And it just came up in the car because we don't think about it.
I never think about it.
We never think about it, but she actually said, "Well, the Thai word for it's bim."
Okay.
Okay, and the Thai word for cock is I can't remember.
I don't need to know that. That's for sure. You'd probably get yourself in all kinds of trouble knowing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You'd
Yeah, and like somebody on one of the, I think the the Big Mango Forum, which I've recently joined, one of the guys on there, sort of said, you're saying suai all wrong, because if you don't say it with a rising tone, it means bad luck.
It means a lot more than that. It's like you're a pig.
Yeah.
It's like you
So
have to
suai?
have a rising tone at the
Suai?
end.
Yeah.
Right.
And I still haven't really got the tones right, because I have tinnitus, right? So I already have a disadvantage in my hearing.
Well, you could explain that to them when you say it wrong. I
Well,
have tinnitus, and I'm sorry that I just called you a fat pig. That was a big mistake because of my tinnitus. And
They wouldn't know what tinnitus was.
No, but
And it's it's an affliction that affects about 5% of the male population, it's 3% of the female population, and nobody's really doing any research on it, which is a real pain in the ass, because I had it for 15 years. Actually, I think I've probably had it longer. I remember an Angels concert back in 1982, right, and I was right in front of the speaker stacks, and it was one of the best concerts ever, seriously. Right there, there they are, right in front of you, and I remember I was deaf for 3 days.
oh my God.
But it was a great concert, but my hearing gradually declined, after a period of time. I also worked in engineering, so, in the engineering field, like back in the 80s, like protection of earphones and earmuffs and things like that really wasn't thought of in society. I know through that 4 years of engineering, it was only just coming in, the fact that you shouldn't, 120 decibels can be very damaging, right, over a long period of time. And we had those sort of sounds all the time.
Nothing like Thailand. Everything's quiet and
you're
safety first. When you go to a market, all you hear are the touts on microphones trying to get. They think that it's you're attracting them. They're trying to attract you over with the the decibels of a jet engine. It's unbelievable.
Look, I made comments about this before, but it is incredible. So the speakers, 7 o'clock in the morning, they're driving down the street with these vans. I have no idea.
I've got to say this now. This is what I asked my wife about. What are some of the things that you feel are lacking in Thailand, or is wrong with Thailand when you've lived in the United States for so many years? I've been married 17 years to my wife. We lived in the United States for about 5 years. And this is what she told me.
And you probably had every farang in Thailand tell you it'll never last.
What's that?
You probably had every farang in Thailand and anywhere you've been tell you it'll never last.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
It's these relationships
they
never work.
They worried. They knew it wouldn't work, and including her parents, my parents, everyone's. It wouldn't work, and
as I say, everybody on YouTube's an expert.
And marriage though, it cannot work, and they still stay married. Just because you've been married for so many years, it doesn't mean that it's all work. But the fact is that I've spent most every day with my wife. If I was going to be driven crazy, it would have happened by now. I'm
but
slightly crazy.
You are crazy. You're talking to me.
Right. That's chaos magic.
That's it. That's the way it works.
So I just wanted to mention this to you. What she said, as a Thai person having lived in the U.S. for 5 years, some of the most prominent frustrations that she's experienced when returning to Thailand. Number one was the unorganized nature of everything. Now, what do you think?
Well, I have to agree.
You're an organized person, I know that.
Oh, look, yes,
what is it like?
OCD, but I think the actual term is COD, right? That's when you actually put OCD in the right order. So I have OCD, presently.
You get it.
Yeah. But it is. But there has to be sort of some foundational order to it. I just haven't worked out what that leverage order is. Because I'm a foreigner.
I know what it is.
Right.
Mai Ben Rai.
Mai Ben Rai.
That is the order. That's what they named it. And he is a subscriber to that.
Yeah, but I still don't understand it fully.
And
I still don't fully understand it.
I think that's coming up. But the number 2, Mai Ben Rai attitude. It is coming up. It's number 2 on the list.
It's totally unorganized.
That she found most frustrating. Now, why would that be, woman?
Well, in my idea, so I've only been here 7 months, but like it's one of those ties. Well, I think my mate Rowan actually brought it up in a video recently. It's the fact that ties themselves don't want to feel like they're imposing on somebody else. So, an example, like they would never. You could sit at a table at a friend's house, right? But they would never ask for a drink of water because they'd feel like they're imposing, right? But as the host, it's your job to remember to put out the water so they don't have to ask.
Yeah. And, well, I could see that, but I don't know how that's related to Mai Ben Rai.
Well,
but that's the way the Thai people are, though.
That's it. It's really part of the foundation.
They don't want to cause you any inconvenience.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's part. That's in my mind. That's what I call the Mai Ben Rai. It's they don't want to cause a disturbance in your will.
See, what I've learned is that they normally, I mean, of course, whenever you say something about one person, a group of people, there's always got to be some type of disclaimer as far as not all people are like this. Even if you were to say the majority of people that I've never met anyone who is not like it, but still there might be a person out there that's not like this at all.
But it's all those grey areas.
But
so people
whenever you say
it's
that,
all this black and white people want to have.
Right.
Like it's a spectrum. Okay, we only sort of see 4% of the spectrum of visible light. Well, visible light is only 4% of the total light spectrum, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty limited.
So you have to say, like, generally speaking, or something to generalize it, where it's not everyone. But I've never met a Thai person that that really worried much about my inconvenience.
Yeah.
Basically, it is a society that is centered around self.
Yeah, it is a self-society.
And if there was anyone that they would watch out for or want something for, or to consider the inconvenience of something, it would be a family member.
Yeah.
It would be somebody very, very close to them. Outside of that, there is just no problem with
That's right.
whatever happens to you, and I'm awfully well.
And if you've had a good life, you'll reincarnate into something better.
That's the way it is.
Yeah, so